What's up, traders? I am Vincent Mokoteli from VinnBoss Signal Factory. This is not a financial advice. It's powerful education for those ready to level up. With the right mindset and real strategy, success is within your reach. Welcome to VinnBoss Signal Factory, where signals meet success. So traders, today before I explain the euro dollar, I will be only explaining the pairs that are left for this week. The rest that I've just completed because we have won in the US dollar, Canadian dollar, euro Canadian dollar, pound Canadian dollar on the free channel on YouTube. Then we will not be touching those. What we will be doing is explaining the ones that are left that we still have not reached the take profit, which is the euro dollar, the pound dollar, and the euro and the pound. So let me go straight and analyze what to expect on the euro dollar. Firstly, with the euro dollar, we have already in the real account traders community, we have already put our stop loss to entry to break even to ensure that we do not suffer any losses if this comes down, to make one last retest before it can continue to the upside. This is what we are still expecting. The overall bias is still bullish. So this is the euro dollar for us. And let me explain. One thing is, remember in the beginning of the week, we did jump in here. This was a fantastic setup. Went up, but it didn't have enough momentum to take out last week's high at 1.1730. Then we got invalidated. And then yesterday we got in. This is the market that we are still into, or the market that we are still into, but we have already broken even. So what do I expect and what do I see in the market right now? I still believe we are still structured to the upside with this strong momentum. I believe this is wave A right here, of course, a corrective wave if you are following, or if you do know wave analysis, I would say this is wave B, and we are now forming a wave C, but wave C seems to be slower, having multiple waves inside. As you know, we can have wave 1 of C, wave 2 of C, wave 3 of C, and if we do come down and to make the last low, this will be wave 4, a completion of wave 4, and wave 5 continue going up. Wave 5 of C will be fantastic also to go for bullish patterns and formations to keep going to the upside. This is what we are expecting on the market, on the euro and the dollar. And I'm not only gonna analyze the pound and the CAD, the euro and the CAD, and then US dollar and Canadian dollar, as we did mention that last week. The Canadian dollar will move to be one of the weakest currency pairs, so we are already done selling it. It was a fantastic sell both on all currency pairs. The Canadian dollar was one of the weakest. So without wasting much of our time, this is what I was expecting from last week. Last week we did get fantastic setups from this level here. This was last week. Last week we did get fantastic setups from this level here. For those that were not already in, they got in from the CPI levels. And then this was also a great move to the upside. People did make money in there. So this week I do expect the same movement. If we were to come down and break even here, this would still be a great place to look for buying opportunities. And as we know that wave 5 tends to be weak or not even enough to reach or to make a new low, or if it's strong, it will be a spike that comes back in sharply to go to the upside. So be careful of a spike if you get a scenario of a spike, but also be ready to jump in if it shows lack of momentum to the downside. Overall, for those that are already in, we have put our stop loss to break even, making sure that we do not suffer any losses. So without wasting much of our time, let's jump straight over to the pound and the US dollar. And yes, with the pound and the dollar, it is still similar to what the the US dollar, and the dollar has in store for us. Excuse me for that terrible line that I did, but it's still similar to that. What we expect, we think this is wave A, B, and a C, and this C looks like it has wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is why we expect to see bullish momentum from this level here of 1.3440. This will be a fantastic place to look for buying opportunities to go to the upside. This is what I do expect for those that trade trend lines. You would have to wait for the breakout and then a continuation to the upside. Now, with the pound and the dollar, what happened? But remember, we do cover this on Saturday with our daily video of our weekly video of lessons and losses. And with that being said, this is the first setup that we did take from on Tuesday. The market did go up as expected. Didn't have enough momentum to continue the rallies to the upside and then to make a new high from last week. But what instead we got invalidated, and the lessons and the losses we will cover in depth what happened and how we learned this one, lessons and losses. And then the second part was when we entered yesterday. After entering yesterday, we did get this. We got invalidated again for the second time this week on this, because the market is structurally going slowly to the downside. Now, what do I expect going into the coming week of, or to the last part of the days? I do still see this as bullish. I want to enter again, look for buying opportunities below this level here, as I still think this is a wave 5 of C. This last wave here, if you do calculate them, it will be 1, it will be 2, it will be 3, 4, and 5 of C. So after completing this wave 5 of C, this will be a fantastic level to go and aim to reach your target at 1.3594. This will be a fantastic setup. If you are not already in it, please make sure that you jump in and make some hits. Be careful, we have another option of breaking out the weekly low, and if we do reach this weekly low, then we will not be interested in jumping into this market at all, and then we will only be looking for shorts. But for now, since the market is stable and is still looking at this as the next move, this is exactly what I and my traders will be looking for. So this is still nothing but a continuation to the upside. This is what I do expect, and this is what I am feeling, as the market would definitely give us this kind of move to the upside. We do not want to see anything sharp roll out like this. If we do reach 1.3420, it will be very unlikely that we will go back up. Then we will start now to see or to look for buying opportunities in selling opportunities in this pair. But for now, it will only mean one thing. It will mean that we are not gonna trade this. We have already gotten profit, and we are already on the edge of profit with the other currency pairs. So this means nothing for us. This means nothing for us. And if it means nothing for us, it means you have the psychology to learn again what to behave like. If you already have a winning or a profitable week, you don't need to force trade, and after forcing these trades, you're gonna end up losing or going to break even, or even worse, losing your money or going to negative with a negative account at the end of the week. We do not need that. What we need is a stable mentality combined with discipline to allow you to be always on the positive side of the market. So let's go over to the last but not least currency pair, which is the euro and the pound. So traders, with the euro and the pound, what we have is very simple. The first signal that we did take was from here. The stop loss was above here. We did not get stopped out by these tails. We came down as soon as the CPI of the pound came in strong. We did put stop loss to break even to ensure that there are no losses that can be encountered at all. And after that, later on, if you are following our videos daily, you would understand the fact that the euro and the pound, the thing is with the euro and the pound, both had the CPI coming out on the very same day. This is why we had the momentum shift of, let me zoom in with this so that you can remember very well. This is why we did have the momentum of this currency pair. We had the pound sprinting down because its CPI print was better than expected. Yet again, later on, it was maybe 2 hours later or 3 hours later, and then the euro had the CPI coming. It was not fantastic. It did not beat the market expectation. It was hidden as expected also, but the market took that as a good reaction, and of course it did go to the upside. What did we do and why did we put the stop loss to break even right here, right after we have seen the strength coming in from the pound? The reason why we did that is because, firstly, the euro CPI tend to move the market more also, which is the case in this setup. Do you see the reaction of the CPI? It was better than expected on the CPI of pound, but the one that was already hit in what's expected, it just blew out the better than expected move. So we did know this with our years of experience in trading. So what we did was to break even. Now, what's next? This is not a sell, guys. We are not in a sell yet. This would be our sell stop. The price would activate as soon as it reaches our sell stop, and this would be a fantastic sell again to go down again, because one thing about this system and this currency that we are having right now, this currency pair that we are having right now, is that we're having a currency pair of the euro and the pound. With the euro and the pound, we are almost at our weekly break of structure, which forces liquidity to be more around this area. Coming down will be a fantastic setup. I know some people are looking for a buy around this area to continue to the upside, but structurally for me, this is still structured to the downside, and for it to be structured to the upside, we still need a push above our weekly break of structure, which is 0.8671. This would be a fantastic place to confirm that now this currency pair is structured to the upside. With that being said, guys, for those of you who trade trend lines, this would have been a messy one, because after the CPI, it would have surely given you this is a sell signal, and then a jump back into this would also confuse trend line traders. That is why I do not advise everyone to trade trend lines. But if you have a philosophy that works in trend lines, it is good to know that you guys are also making money with trend lines. But without wasting time, let's go over to what happens, or what will happen, or what should I expect jumping into this market this week. Now, this, if we do activate this sell, I would be looking for this, and then a continuation to the downside, maybe going into the beginning of next week, because it's already Thursday. If we do get a sharp momentum to the downside, it will be fantastic for us. This is what we are expecting. This is the first supply zone that we tested. The invalidation came out. This is the second supply zone that we are now trying to find a selling opportunities that will activate our sell, and the continuation to the downside to make sure that everything goes according to the plan or as intended before the market had opened. Now, this is Thursday. The market tends to move fantastically well, and we already know even last week on Thursday we did take profit from selling here. This was our profit from last week. It was also a fantastic sell to the downside. So this is why I'm still expecting a fantastic sell to the downside also on this market. Again, this week I still think pound is relatively stronger than the euro structurally, and even when we check the commitment of traders report, I still see that the long positions are there in the pound. So this would be a strong sell if it goes out and it does not invalidate our weekly break of structure at 0.8671. This will be a fantastic setup. So that is it for me with the currency pairs that we'll be analyzing today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and you keep up to date. You don't miss any of these updates as they come out daily with the market. So without wasting further time, thank you for watching this video. Thanks and happy trading today.